everybody. Sorry, it's still good morning. We're half an hour early, but here we are sitting with Ritu.
Hi.
Hi, Ritu. And we are going to be talking to you for the next 1 hour about Ritu and jams. So you'll ask me what is jams, and a lot of people have been shooting this question to me that what is jams exactly? So it stands for Journey About Must Moms. So it's a lovely mommies group which is live in Mumbai, and a lot. Do you have people from other cities as well?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so it's a Mumbai-based project, which is absolutely wonderful support group. So right from would-be mommies to mommies who are like around my
86.
mother's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So beyond 60 plus, there are women of all ages, and they are a very close-knit support group. So the kind of privacy and the kind of support which these women offer each other is just wonderful. So let's speak to Ritu and let's find out how did jams actually start about, or where did it come from? How did she conceive that idea? It is much like a baby being born, isn't it?
True, true.
So Ritu, over to you. Guide us onto the journey of jams.
Lovely. Thank you to have me on board. I'd love to share my journey today. So, in essential, so I've always been a Mumbaiker. I've stayed here for 24 years. I used to dance and I used to teach how to dance. And when I got married, I relocated to Delhi. So I was there for about 8 years. Exactly 2 years back, when I moved back to Bombay, I stayed in Bhandup West in Bombay. So I kind of was feeling a little left out of being connected to all my friends and some of the mothers. My daughter's 5 now. At that point in time, obviously she was 3. So I just needed to reconnect with some of the like-minded mothers. So I started a small WhatsApp group of around 25 mothers, and we were around 70 moms in a Facebook group. But then all these people knew me, so I was like the common factor with all of them. And these mothers were primarily my ex-colleague or my bhabhi or my cousin, that kind of a thing. Most of them knew each other, but there were some who didn't know all of them. Right from the beginning, I was very, very clear that there will not be any good morning, good night, forwards, jokes, and any nonsense information or any kind of promotion also for that matter. So it was strictly very, very mommy talk, to be honest. Everybody really liked the concept, and what they started doing is they started adding in more mothers. But then I had never envisioned what jams is today. So we've got around over 3,000 mothers connected on WhatsApp in various groups. So it's pretty structured now. So all the mothers, for example, if you're a pregnant mom, you would also be in a group with all the pregnant mothers. If you are a grandmother, so my senior most grand Jamie is 86 years old and she's on WhatsApp on a smartphone.
Wow.
So various other groups like infants, toddlers, kids, teenagers. So we've got all the age brackets, even youngsters. So we've got them all connected on WhatsApp, and we've got around 7,600 plus mothers in a secret Facebook group. So we are very non-aggressive, and we only want the quality like-minded mothers to come in, and this has purely been out of word of mouth. Well, of course, while we are connected online, our biggest USP is actually to meet offline. We've hosted over 60 workshops where the whole goal is built for informed parenting. We've hosted workshops starting from makeup, grooming, cooking, prevention of child sexual abuse, how to belly dance. We've had fun workshops. We've had very educative kind of workshops. And we've also met, for like casual coffee meets, lunch meets, and it's just been a lot of fun. We've got featured, pretty much everywhere in media, and our what we're most popular for are our social initiatives. So when we completed 365 days, we gave away 365 haircuts to underprivileged children at 2 observation homes. That was called the Happy New Hair initiative. We completed 550 days, so we gave away 550 things to visually impaired people, and it was absolutely fantastic. Our most popular was the Must Santa campaign, where all the mothers actually got their old handbags that they were absolutely not using and put in a lot of edible stuff, snacks, goodies, and give it to the first homeless woman that they found on the street. So that was really, really popular.
Okay.
We in fact have a very big social initiative coming up now. So we complete 730 days, and we're actually giving away 730 pieces of footwear to children in a village near Pune.
So 750 pieces of footwear.
730 pairs of or pieces of footwear, yes.
Wow.
And these children, unfortunately, are obviously not well to do. They don't even have a basic pair to walk across, and they walk almost like 2 to 3 kilometers on a daily basis. During summer, it gets that bad that they actually take the water, the water of bottle, and they sprinkle the water on their feet just to get away, with the heat. Yes, yes. So yeah, that's our next social campaign is called Step Up, and we roll it from Monday onwards. In fact, I'm formally announcing it on Storyfied right now.
Wow. So here, Ritu's formally announced that they're going to be helping 730 underprivileged children. So, this is just wonderful to see like a Facebook group actually getting out there and doing this. So tell us a little bit more on how JAMS connects people and what has been your experience with social media, because JAMS is completely social media oriented, isn't it? It started
Absolutely.
from WhatsApp and it's gone on to Facebook. So I'm sure it's out there on Twitter, it's out on Instagram. So how have you experienced social media to your benefit? Because many a times these days we hear kids getting or misusing social
True.
media,
True.
or parents being wary of letting being on social media and letting their kids be on social media. So do you have any such experiences with JAMS mothers or people you've seen that they've benefited from social media also?
Well, I could go on and on this topic. To be honest, so how we have what we've done is, like I said, we started on WhatsApp, and then we moved on to Facebook as well. So while we're connected online, we meet offline. So while we're connected on WhatsApp, for example, we follow a very no-nonsense approach, which means that the timings are very structured. Our interaction timings right now are between 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. We request the mothers that you please keep the group on mute mode, so that in case if you're at work or whether you're with children, you're not your phone's not constantly pinging. Because while we may be connected online, what I categorically promote is to spend time offline. So even when we have a weekly theme days, my most popular theme day is Silent Sunday. So there is absolutely
It's
no
quiet.
interaction. Yes, it's absolutely quiet. There is even if there is an interaction, it's only because it's an emergency. How we have helped people, because it's a support group. This is what typically happens in a mommy's support group. So if you need a reference of a doctor, if you need reference of where your child should be going for the next activity class, if there is somebody in your family or your friend circle who's at the hospital and needs blood donation. So for example, very recently somebody needed blood for a family member. It was very rare. They struggled for quite a number of hours locating that particular blood group, but the minute it was shared, within 10 minutes they had a donor, and the person had reached. So this is the beauty of social media. So particularly with JAMS, I follow a very no-nonsense approach. So there is no, like I said, no good morning, good night, forwards, jokes, because we're part of so many groups now. So
Yeah.
somewhere it just needs to be unique. And we get bombarded with these messages, considering the app is free right now. So where we get very popular, why we are unique, and we also get nominated for awards, not just national but international, is primarily because we are engaging in digital empowerment for mothers, for women, but it has a very no-nonsense approach. So
Okay.
that's what kind of stands us out.
Okay. So the no nonsense approach, it must be very difficult to be like a classroom monitor for it, right? Where you have to keep, sometimes there's always that one child in a class
All the
who
time.
doesn't want to listen and who just wants to, still do what they're doing. So how is it difficult to handle? Because I come from an industry where I had never interacted with women before starting Storyfied. So, for me, sometimes it gets very annoying that why don't they understand understand you're not supposed to do this. And women are such delicate people that you have to nurture them so well. So how do you manage that, Ritu?
So I now claim to have done like a double PhD in women and WhatsApp management. Yes, we are emotional. Yes, we are sensitive. Yes, we are from Venus. We don't understand it at one go. We need to be said the same thing again, and if still not, understood, we need to say it in a different way. So yes, I've also had very nasty incidents of moms still promoting while we share the etiquette of how group networking really works in advance. They said, oh, we didn't read it. But it doesn't really work that way. So yes, I've had a fair bit of incidents. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have a perception where they think that Ritu, has a stick in her hand 24/7. So they just kind of know not to mess with. And this is a very unique social support group that is there to help them. It's not that we are making money or it's a business. It's just something that happened by chance. It was a small group of 25 mothers. It just started growing slowly and steadily. I'm also a homemaker now, so this is not something that I've gained an MBA or did any formal education, but it's been fun. Having said that, it's been a great journey of ups and downs both. So if you can handle it, great. You're welcome to be part of the group. But if you can't follow the etiquette, I don't like to call them as rules because rules are meant for children. If you can't follow it, if it doesn't suit you, it's okay. No hard feelings.
No hard feelings. Yeah, because it's always like you can't please everybody and you can't be on everybody's side. So you have to kind of draw a line somewhere, isn't it?
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, the mothers are the ones benefiting. It's not that they're paying any registration fees or membership fees to be part of it. They're just getting useful information on a daily basis, especially on theme days, for example. So my theme days are like Makeup Shake Up Monday, Tadka Tuesday, Wet Sex Day Wisdom, Guruvar Gyan, Full On Friday, Sexy Saturday, and a Silent Sunday. So what do? In all these theme days, we share informative stuff. So for example, every Monday, which is the Makeup Shake Up Monday, we actually share tips. It could be an e-link, it could be a video, it could be like a creative that we are sharing on makeup, health, fitness, and wellness. Tadka Tuesday is obviously the most popular section because we share like a cooking recipe or a tip or something which is related about food, kitchen, etiquette. It could be anything. Wet Sex Day Wisdom is again very unique. We actually have a sex counselor on board right from day one, who gives them information about it could be prevention of child sexual abuse or just a little more on couples, sexual health, etc. So that's also very popular. It's just that women are not very
they don't want to be very vocal
upfront about it. So they're happy to read, but not so much to discuss. But that's okay. At the end of the day, we are staying in India, so we are still very conservative and orthodox and don't really open up about it. Yeah. So it's been fun, and Guruvar Gyan is again one of our interesting theme days where we actually share like a motivational tip. So that's something a lot of mompreneurs in my group really look up to, because unfortunately it's become so complex with the coming of modern technology. It's supposed to make our lives easier, but it's actually the other way around. I mean, women, for example, unfortunately now have this Durga Ma, I fondly call it the Durga Ma image that we portray. So we are not just expected to look after the house, but also expected to be master chefs in the kitchen, have bodies like the next Miss India, and supposed to take care of the family, the in-laws, the husband, cook at home, look after the social life and children. So it's getting a little too much, to be honest. And while I'm not saying that women should not work or have their own self-identity, but instinctively the mothers are
they always
caretakers of the nest, while the fathers or the man of the house are traditionally supposed to be hunters. But yes, having said that, we're staying in urban cities now, and there is a lot of nuclear family setup which has become very popular, and both the parties, which is the mother and the father, have to work. But I would never recommend something like that at the cost of work-life balance and at the cost of good and informed parenting. That's something I would not really recommend. So even for example me, I had consciously decided to give the first 5 years of my life away from my corporate role to Zara, and I'm extremely proud of doing that because it's been such a wonderful journey. This time is never going to come back. Either way, another couple of years, my daughter would just want to hang out, with her friends, and oh no, mama, she's going to back out. So,
Yeah.
so I have truly enjoyed every part of this motherhood journey, and then I have almost 10,000 more mothers who are part of this journey. So it's been phenomenal. But having said that, we are on social media and we are using it productively. I mean, that's what the thing is.
So recently, there have been many events which I have been invited to as
Yes.
well. So tell us, how do you help promote these mothers with mompreneurs and stuff? So how does JAMS support the mothers? And if some mother does come and join JAMS on board, so I know she's not going to pay any registration fee or something, but is there any kind of an ongoing cost which they have to bear, or how do they benefit from JAMS?
So, for example, I have a mompreneur who deals in jewelry. I'm just giving a random example. And, she's obviously looking at a platform to raise awareness about her products and services. So, these are the options. The JAMS secret Facebook group has around, 7,500 plus mothers connected online. So, she could perhaps, self-promote herself once a week, anytime, during those 7 days. And her ad posts get approved and published on Sunday. So that's a free of cost, self-promotion platform that I'm giving you. Another way that that mompreneur, what she could do is sponsor one of her referral contests. So, for example, if the mothers from the network, refer or add 2 new mothers in the WhatsApp group or in the Facebook group, one lucky mother would win like a gift or like a piece of jewelry from this particular mompreneur. So it works as a great platform to
Showcase your
raise awareness. Also, the beauty about JAMS, like I said earlier, our USP is to meet during our offline interventions. So what happens is, before we start any particular workshop, I ensure that there is an introduction round by the mothers. So each of them gets like a minute or something. So they talk about their name, about the children, where they work, what they do, and get to exchange cards at the end of the session. So it almost works like a great networking session. Just I hosted a workshop just 2 days before at a celebrity home chef's cooking studio at Saki Vihar, and there was this one particular mother who had attended our intervention for the first time. She said, I met somebody who did whom I subscribed my child's monthly worksheets. I met a neighbor whom I never knew, stayed in the next building. So I met up, with her. I enjoyed some, great wine. I enjoyed a great book reading session. I, got to meet a celebrity food writer. She also met a designer who was part of that workshop, and she decided that, this is the designer I want to kind of, get my stuff from. So in one meet, she generated 6 contacts. Yeah, she generated 6 contacts. So the mompreneurs also who are providing that particular service benefit.
Yeah.
And I can, honestly, I can just go on and on with these stories as to, how these mothers have, networked and, benefited. Primarily the mompreneurs who take these workshops, because although they may take a, like a free of cost or complimentary workshop, but it works as a great way of eventually them becoming conversions, because these workshops are, obviously not, in detail. For example, I had attended one social media workshop recently by a wonderful trainer, and I had requested her to host, one workshop for the JAMS mothers. We have landed up hosting more than 15 workshops in the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Although they are, paid workshops, because this is like an external trainer, but they've benefited immensely, because now they're not dependent on others. They're just doing everything on their own. So whether it's their social media promotions, whether it's networking online with the other support groups, it's been a great win-win.
Okay. So we have a question for you already.
Lovely.
From Latika, where she's
Okay.
asking that tell us one inspirational applied secret for your success.
Patience. Just a lot of patience, Latika. It's like I said, it's never easy dealing with with women, because of their so many emotional mood swings that they go. Also, my whole focus has always been on informed parenting, and this is an out and out social initiative. So a lot of patience dealing with women. Yeah.
I have to learn some as well, you know. I have to learn to be patient with everybody that I deal with right now. Also, I always wondered that, you know, how is Jams kind of funded, or is it self-sustained, or you put in a lot of money behind it? How does it work with the...
Well, time is money, to be honest. Akanksha, last 2 years, it's been an out-and-out social initiative. So I actually have a team. I have 13 volunteers on board, which are working, outside home mothers, and they've selflessly contributed in running the initiative. So I have one mommy who's in charge of one or two WhatsApp groups in the network, and well, till a month back, yes, it was out and out social initiative, but with the amount of time, effort, hard work that really goes, we've just got into a little bit of a self-sustaining model, but that's primarily to fund our social causes. Even if it means printing visiting cards, or taking care of a little like a gift for the trainer who's doing a complimentary workshop. That's about it. Jams would not be my bread and butter, or even for the other mothers who are part of the who are part of the team. It will always be a social initiative, and that's what is unique about us, because there's just so many groups that have shamelessly copied our themes, our networking platforms, and are making lots and lots of money out of it. Let them. They land up aping a lot of our ideas, and our offline interventions, actually pretty much like everything. And they're also part of my network. I'm someone who's not insecure. I'm jealous. Let them be, as long as someone's benefiting.
Yeah.
Just
So even if it's spreading its tentacles and 100 other mothers are getting benefited, then obviously, why not? It's always like, which is going out, that they know somewhere down the line that, hey, this has come from there.
Yeah.
So it's always good, isn't
See,
it?
it's a great idea. Like I said, I never envisioned Jams to be what it is today. Now that we've completed 2 years. Having said that, I fondly remember one of my group leaders saying that nakal karne ke liye bhi akkal chahiye. So they may do it, but how long?
Yes.
Because the idea generation and all the brainstorming and the networking is happening here in a very no nonsense approach. So that's what makes Jams stand out. Also, I've always been focused never on numbers or quantities, but it's always been quality, like-minded mothers who understand the concept, who want to follow the the etiquette of group networking, and are there to help each other, not just be visitors. That doesn't make sense.
So say if would-be mother joins a group. So, what kind of support can she expect? Can she, if she does ask questions, do they get answered by some sort of a doctor very quickly, or a fellow mother from her experience? So, what kind of support does the WhatsApp group provide to a would-be mother? Because let's start from that stage where you're just joining into the network, you're you're probably in your 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever month,
right?
And you're kind of anxious, either it's a first time or a second time. So I can just envision what kind of questions I would have.
Yeah.
But there would be a lot of questions in a person's mind. So how does the support system work? So what happens? Because I haven't seen the WhatsApp group yet.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to be a mother now. So, for example, if there's a mom who's on the family way and is pregnant, she obviously also joins the group where there are other mothers who are expecting. What also works really, really well is, apart from the regular WhatsApp groups, I also have separate WhatsApp groups dedicated to professionals. So, for example, there is a separate WhatsApp group dedicated just to the mompreneurs who engage in kids product services. I have a separate group for lawyers, for food mompreneurs, for single mothers, for mothers that have special children. So likewise, I also have a separate WhatsApp group dedicated to doctors. Now we have a couple of gynacs on board. So if they need any information where medical intervention is required, I promptly request them to speak to the gynac. Either way, all these mums are so well informed these days, thanks to so many of these baby portals. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions also, let me tell you, because they just blindly follow whatever's written in Google or in these baby portals. So we get those online expert help. So for example, in the WhatsApp groups, I have these dedicated. I have two online experts every single month. So I just get them added in the WhatsApp group. And if there are any queries that need to be asked, so we, for example, we've had like a image consultant. We've had someone who spoke about makeup. We had someone. We had a dermat whom we had got online. We had a gynac whom we had got online. We had a mother who spoke about clot diapering. We had a mother who spoke about baby wearing. So there are all these online experts, where they can, just randomly ask questions for those, 2 hours and get their answers from the expert.
Okay.
Otherwise, I always encourage them, please meet them offline, call them up, speak to them on the phone, and then seek help, because a lot of things can't be dealt with, or don't have answers when you're asking them just a random question on WhatsApp. So I tell them, great that you're connected online, but please meet offline and ask them offline as well. Yeah.
So I know we've got 40 people watching us live right now. So guys, keep shooting your questions. We're going to be here for another half an hour. So, keep the questions coming. We'd love to, I'm sure Ritu hasn't had so many questions thrown at her at one place in an hour. So let's hound her with the questions and find out. So otherwise, Ritu, what has been, we put the title as social media blessing or a curse. So how do you think it has been a blessing for you, or do you know of instances where it has also acted as a curse? Have you heard horror stories from moms, where they have experienced bad things on social media, and how has Jams ever supported these mothers to come out of those horrific incidents, or what has been your experience with social media being a blessing or a curse?
Well, for us, social media has been a complete blessing. While I can, go on and on with the list of, the mothers who benefited being part of Jams and our social media network, I must honestly admit there was a personal crisis that I went through recently, where my elder brother, couldn't handle stress, and he just walked out of the house, leaving a note, and. I actually found him because of Jams. I found him because of social media. So it was a big blessing. How he was found is because I have a mother who's actually a belly dance, a fantastic belly dance trainer, and has done complimentary, workshops for us. She, obviously read about my brother being, have gone missing. So she shared it on her social media and a couple of other groups. And my brother was around 100 kilometers outside Bombay, and he was sitting, at a place, and this particular lady, who actually happens to be an animal doctor, spotted him there, and she was like, looks like I've seen this gentleman somewhere. So she promptly logged on to this belly dance trainer, whose name is Chetali, and she logged on to her social media and cross-checked, and then she went up to him and asked him that, so what's your name? We've never seen you here. And he revealed that his name is Vikram, and that's how he was found. So the lady promptly alerted the nearest police station, and my brother was found on the 6th day thanks to social media, and primarily Facebook. In fact, I also messaged the Facebook team about it, and they couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
So
you see, guys, how when we say that social media is an evil, I have tears listening to the story and still goosebumps. And despite having heard it before, hearing it now still makes me feel that, hey, we are on social media and we are doing something good. So it is up to us how we use it. So, we need to make sure that we use it right so that it can benefit us and everybody else as well. So the thing is, how else have you heard any horror stories though? Have any horror stories been part of Jams or whatever? Has anything gone wrong? Because we always talk about the good things.
Right.
So have you heard any bad things as well?
Honestly, not. It's just that I know a lot of mothers keep complaining about the teenagers spending a lot of time. So what I did probably is I organized a cybercrime awareness workshop, and that's the time when we had actually spoken about the ill effects, but not that it is come to my knowledge that social media has been a curse for somebody. Yes, having said that, a lot of children, including mothers, are land up spending a lot of time online. there lands up being a lot of miscommunication because you're obviously not checking the tone of the voice or the body language of the
Yeah.
person who's talking to you, and they may be saying something, but the other person has understood in a different manner. But that's just basic miscommunication. I don't think it's been a curse as such, or at least I don't know of any experience
Okay.
like that. But having said that, the eventual curse would be that people end up spending more time online. So if you walk into a restaurant or if you're at a party, I'm unfortunately noticing that people are not talking to each other offline, but are on their phones. And
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if everybody's posture eventually becomes like that versus
You see
talking to
me
each
right
other.
now as well. I'm trying to read all these.
This is going to, because the video is so big, right? So
It saves on the phone.
I hate it when you tell people
Who
not
called?
to call. It's like, no, I have a meeting after this, and I told him that I'll call him after I finish my meeting. It will take time to save the video. So